Principle 1. Think long-term, act now. Ordinary people think for today. Successful people think for 10 years ahead and begin acting right now. 1. The trap of short-term thinking. Most people are caught in the cycle of short-term concerns. They work just to collect their paycheck at the end of the month. They study only to pass the next exam. They invest solely for quick profits. This mindset offers temporary comfort, but it rarely leads to progress. It's like running inside a hamster wheel, lots of effort, but no real distance covered. Short-term thinking creates a sense of safety, but it also traps people in mediocrity. The truly successful, however, think differently. They create long-term visions, 5 years, 10 years, even 50 years into the future, and then move steadily toward them. 2. A lesson from Li Ka-shing. One of the best examples comes from 1967, when riots broke out in Hong Kong. Violence, social unrest, and fear drove property prices into free fall. Wealthy families rushed to sell off their land and fled overseas, convinced Hong Kong had no future. But Li Ka-shing saw differently. While the crowd panicked, he looked ahead. He believed that Hong Kong would eventually recover, and land values would soar again. Guided by this conviction, he bought property when others were desperate to sell. That bold decision turned crisis into opportunity. The very lands he acquired during that time became the cornerstone of his vast real estate empire. Li Ka-shing proved that the crowd sees the present, but visionaries see the future. 3. Long-term thinking is not daydreaming. When people hear long-term vision, they often assume it's vague or unrealistic. But in reality, the visions of great leaders, Li Ka-shing, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, were anything but vague. Warren Buffett invested in companies like Coca-Cola and American Express and held them for decades. Jeff Bezos began Amazon as a simple online bookstore, but from the start envisioned it as the everything store. Elon Musk spoke of electric cars, clean energy, and reusable rockets at a time when most people laughed at him. Their common trait? They didn't just dream long-term, they acted immediately. 4. The power of acting now. Long-term thinking has no value unless paired with immediate action. Want long-lasting health? Start exercising today. Want financial freedom in 10 years? Begin saving and investing this month. Want to build a sustainable company? Launch with one solid product right now. The mistake most people make is either dreaming long-term without ever starting, or giving up too quickly because results don't show immediately. Visionaries understand this truth. A seed planted today may not bear fruit tomorrow, but if you never plant it, you will never harvest anything. 5. Training yourself to think long-term. You can train this mindset in 3 practical steps. 1. Set 5 to 10-year goals. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like in 10 years? Be bold, but also specific. Define income, skills, health, relationships. 2. Break it into daily actions. If your goal is financial freedom in 10 years, how much should you save today? What skill must you learn this year to increase your earning power? 3. Persevere through hardship. Long-term results never appear overnight. Every obstacle is simply a test to see if you are worthy of your goals. 6. A quote to remember. Li Ka-shing once said, "If you only think of today, you will lose tomorrow. If you think of tomorrow, you will win today." This reminds us that the future doesn't just arrive. It is built step by step from today's actions. 7. Conclusion for Principle 1. Long-term vision gives you direction. Acting immediately prevents procrastination. Together they carry you closer to great goals. Li Ka-shing, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they all succeeded not because they merely imagined the future, but because they started building it day by day. So instead of asking, when is the right time to start? Remind yourself today is the first day. Principle 2. Learn to observe trends. Opportunities are often hidden in ordinary things. Li Ka-shing. 1. Why observing trends matters. The world is never static. Industries rise and fall. New technologies disrupt old ones. Consumer behavior shifts with culture, economics, and even social media fads. Demographic changes reshape entire societies. The majority of people only notice change once it has already happened. By that time, opportunities have passed, and only scraps remain. Visionaries like Li Ka-shing, Warren Buffett, and Elon Musk succeed not because they chase headlines, but because they sense the direction of the wind before others even feel the breeze. Their ability to observe subtle shifts, interpret patterns, and act early sets them apart from the crowd. 2. A story of observation, from plastics to real estate. In the 1950s, plastic flowers suddenly became fashionable in North America. To most people in Hong Kong, this was just another passing curiosity. But Li Ka-shing noticed something deeper. Demand was growing rapidly, and very few suppliers were prepared to meet it. He studied the export market, analyzed costs, and saw the potential. Instead of dismissing plastic flowers as trivial, he invested heavily. His company, Chung Kong, shifted from a small workshop into a booming enterprise. But Li didn't stop there. When the plastics boom began to fade, he noticed new signals. Hong Kong was urbanizing at breakneck speed. Housing demand was exploding. Instead of clinging to plastics, he pivoted into real estate, just in time to ride one of the greatest property booms in Asian history. Lesson: the ability to notice small signals early before they become obvious is the difference between leaders and followers. 3. How to train the trend radar. Observing trends is not luck. It's a skill you can cultivate. Here are 4 powerful methods. 1. Read widely. Visionaries don't confine themselves to one subject. Li Ka-shing read economics, technology, sociology, and history. Trends often emerge at the intersections of different fields. 2. Watch behavior, not words. Consumers may say one thing but act another. People once said mobile phones were unnecessary, yet adoption exploded once they tried them. Behavior reveals truth more than surveys do. 3. Follow data. Not hype trends leave fingerprints in the numbers. Population growth, urban migration, internet usage, or energy consumption. Li trusted careful analysis over sensational headlines. 4. Travel and observe. Li Ka-shing often traveled abroad. He observed cities like London, New York, and Tokyo, then anticipated how similar changes would eventually arrive in Hong Kong or China. 4. The Buffett example, investing in demographics. Warren Buffett's investments often follow demographic forces. He bought Coca-Cola because he foresaw a global consumer culture thirsty for recognizable brands. He invested in railroads and utilities because he knew people and goods would always need transport and power. Observation here wasn't about guessing fads, it was about understanding long-term human behavior. 5. Elon Musk and the technology horizon. Elon Musk is another master of trend observation. He noticed 3 undeniable shifts: the global energy crisis, climate change, the stagnation of space exploration. Instead of complaining, he acted. Tesla aligned with clean energy. Solar City focused on sustainability. SpaceX targeted humanity's expansion into space. Governments hesitated. Corporations dismissed the idea. Musk saw inevitability where others saw impossibility. His observation of these megatrends allowed him to build companies that reshaped entire industries. 6. How ordinary people can observe trends. You don't need billions to practice trend awareness. Start small. Notice what young people are using: apps, platforms, gadgets. Youth often predict mainstream adoption. Track how people spend their time and money online. Attention is the currency of the digital age. Listen to complaints. Problems often hide business opportunities. Study government policies. They reveal where future investments will flow. Example: after COVID-19, remote work wasn't a surprise to those paying attention to technology adoption and changing social needs. The signals were visible. Those who acted early by creating remote work tools, services, or content gained huge advantages. 7. Turning observation into action. Observation alone changes nothing. You must connect the dots and take action. Li Ka-shing didn't just notice the popularity of plastics, he built factories. He didn't just foresee rising housing demand, he purchased land. Observation is the seed, action is the planting, discipline is the watering. Over time, opportunity becomes a harvest. 8. Quotes to remember Li Ka-shing. Opportunities are often hidden in ordinary things. Warren Buffett: someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Both remind us, the future hides in the present if you learn how to look closely. 9. Avoiding the pitfalls. Not every trend deserves your time. Many fads masquerade as trends. The difference is durability. Fads are short-lived, fueled by hype, like viral toys or meme stocks. Trends are rooted in deeper forces: technology, demographics, human needs. Li Ka-shing avoided fads. He invested in real estate, ports, energy, and telecoms, industries driven by long-term necessity. Lesson: a visionary doesn't chase every wave. They study which waves will actually reach the shore. 10. Conclusion for Principle 2. To cultivate vision, you must train yourself to observe trends. It's not magic, it's discipline, curiosity, and the ability to recognize patterns. Read widely and connect dots. Watch behavior more than words. Distinguish fads from real trends. Act before the crowd does. Li Ka-shing built empires not by reacting to change, but by anticipating it. His story proves that the ability to see the invisible today is what creates the visible tomorrow. Principle 3. Dare to be different from the crowd. 1. The comfort of the crowd. Human beings are wired to find safety in numbers. Since ancient times, survival often meant staying close to the tribe. Even today, in markets, careers and social life, following the crowd feels secure. If everyone else is doing it, it must be right, we tell ourselves. But in reality, following the majority often leads to mediocrity. The crowd tends to buy when prices are high and panic when markets fall. They stick to familiar routines, even when those routines bring no growth. Visionaries, however, are willing to walk away from the herd. They endure loneliness, criticism, even ridicule, because they see what others cannot. The 2. Li Ka-shing, buying when others fled. In 1967, riots swept across Hong Kong. Fear gripped the city. Property owners panicked and sold their land at fire sale prices. Wealthy families left the city, convinced its future was doomed. The crowd ran. Li Ka-shing stayed. Not only that, he bought. People thought he was reckless, even foolish. But Li had studied history, demographics, and economics. He understood that Hong Kong's position as a global trading hub gave it long-term strength. His contrarian courage turned disaster into fortune. Those properties became the backbone of his empire. Lesson. Being different isn't about rebellion for its own sake. It's about conviction based on research, vision, and courage. 3. Elon Musk. Betting on electric cars. In the early 2000s, electric cars were a joke. Automakers dismissed them as impractical, too expensive, and destined to fail. But Elon Musk thought differently. He bet nearly his entire fortune on Tesla, enduring years of ridicule, lawsuits, and near bankruptcy. Today, Tesla isn't just a car company. It represents the future of clean energy and has reshaped the entire automotive industry. Musk's willingness to defy the crowd changed the trajectory of global transportation. 4. Warren Buffett. Fear and greed. Warren Buffett captured this principle with one of his most famous quotes: "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This is the essence of daring to be different. When the crowd rushes in, intoxicated by hype, the visionary steps back. When panic spreads, the visionary steps forward. It is emotionally difficult because going against the majority feels unsafe, but this discomfort is the price of extraordinary results. 5. The psychology of standing alone. Why is it so hard to be different? Fear of rejection. Humans crave acceptance. Standing apart feels dangerous. Fear of being wrong. Nobody wants to be the fool who took the opposite bet and lost. Short-term pain. Contrarian choices often bring immediate criticism or losses before long-term rewards show. Visionaries like Li Ka-shing overcome these fears with discipline, research, and trust in their analysis. They aren't contrarians for attention. They are contrarians with conviction. 6. Practical steps to practice this principle. You don't need to be a billionaire to dare differently. Here's how to apply it in your own life. 1. Question popular opinions. When everyone praises an idea, pause. Ask, what are they missing? What could go wrong? 2. Think independently. Read, analyze, and draw your own conclusions. Don't let headlines dictate your beliefs. 3. Prepare for criticism. If you're right, time will prove it. If you're wrong, you'll learn. Either way, standing firm leads to growth. 4. Start small. Being different doesn't mean reckless risk. Test your ideas on a small scale before going big. 7. Stories of difference leading to greatness. Steve Jobs, while competitors built bigger computers, he dreamed of personal devices for everyone. Later, he launched the iPhone, redefining communication forever. Jack Ma, rejected by dozens of jobs, including KFC, he dared to build Alibaba when few believed China could produce global tech giants. Li Ka-shing, when British families abandoned Hong Kong, he invested, proving that courage in crisis creates empires. 8. Quotes to remember. Business is like sailing. When the wind changes, you must adjust your sails, not follow the other ships blindly. Elon Musk, some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Warren Buffett, the crowd is not always wrong, but it is rarely early. 9. Avoiding blind contrarianism. Being different doesn't mean rejecting everything popular. Some trends are valid, some consensus is correct. The danger lies in being contrarian just for ego or attention. True visionaries diverge only when research, intuition, and conviction show them a better path. Rule of thumb: don't be different to stand out. Be different to stand firm. 10. Conclusion for Principle 3. To dare to be different is to embrace loneliness, risk, and discomfort. But it is also the birthplace of innovation, wealth, and greatness. The crowd follows emotion. Visionaries follow conviction. The crowd seeks safety. Visionaries seek truth. Li Ka-shing's empire, Elon Musk's revolution, and Warren Buffett's enduring wealth all share this root: the courage to walk against the tide. Lesson: if you always follow the crowd, you will always remain average. If you dare to stand apart, you give yourself the chance to be extraordinary. Principle 4. Combine knowledge and intuition. 1. The myth of pure logic. In today's world, we glorify data, numbers, and analysis. We're told to trust the facts and follow the numbers. And while this advice has value, history proves that logic alone is not enough. Markets are shaped not just by spreadsheets, but by uncertainty, human emotion, and forces no data can fully capture. Numbers tell part of the story, but visionaries know how to read between the lines. This is where intuition, the inner sense built from years of experience, becomes a powerful ally. 2. Li Ka-shing, beyond the numbers. Li Ka-shing studied financial reports, market prices, and economic cycles like any disciplined businessman, but he also trusted his instincts. When he invested in land during the 1967 riots, the data looked terrifying: collapsing prices, fleeing investors, political unrest. Pure logic might have said, "Stay away." But Li combined knowledge of Hong Kong's fundamentals with an intuitive sense of recovery. He saw opportunity where data screamed danger. That blend of rationality and instinct made him billions. Lesson: numbers provide the map. Intuition tells you whether the road ahead is worth traveling. 3. Intuition as compressed experience. Albert Einstein once said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant." Intuition is not random guessing. It is the subconscious processing of years of observation and experience. When Li Ka-shing felt opportunity, it wasn't magic. It was decades of watching economic cycles, human behavior, and market shifts. His subconscious mind connected dots that logic alone missed. Think of intuition as compressed experience. It distills patterns, memories, and subtle signals into a feeling that guides decisions. 4. The danger of ignoring intuition. Many people dismiss intuition as unreliable, but ignoring it can mean missing the hidden side of reality. Investors who rely only on charts may miss cultural or social shifts. Entrepreneurs who only trust market reports may overlook unspoken customer needs. Leaders who ignore gut instinct may make technically correct but humanly disastrous decisions. Great leaders know data takes you to the edge. Intuition takes you further. 5. Case study: Steve Jobs and product vision. Steve Jobs famously said, "People don't know what they want until you show it to them." In the early 2000s, market research didn't demand smartphones. Data didn't predict the iPhone. But Jobs combined knowledge of technology with intuition about human behavior. The result? A device that revolutionized communication and culture worldwide. 6. Training. Intuition with knowledge. Intuition without knowledge is reckless. Knowledge without intuition is blind. The secret lies in balance. Here's how to cultivate both. 1. Study deeply. Master your field so your intuition is grounded in real expertise. 2. Expose yourself widely. Read across disciplines: science, history, psychology. Intuitive leaps often come from connecting unrelated ideas. 3. Reflect. Often ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Reflection sharpens raw gut feelings into refined insights. 4. Act and adjust. Test your instincts on a small scale. Learn from feedback. Over time, your intuition becomes sharper. 7. Elon Musk, betting on the future of energy. When Musk invested in Tesla and SpaceX, the spreadsheets looked insane. Electric cars were money losers. Rockets were dominated by governments. Logic said, don't. But Musk combined engineering knowledge with intuition about humanity's future. He believed the world needed sustainable energy and space exploration. His instincts told him boldness would be rewarded. Today, Tesla and SpaceX stand as proof that intuition paired with knowledge can reshape industries. 8. The human side of decisions. Data may tell you which company is profitable, but intuition tells you which partner is trustworthy. Li Ka-shing often judged people not just by contracts but by sensing their integrity. Many times, his instincts about character proved more valuable than numbers on a balance sheet. This reminds us, knowledge measures performance. Intuition measures people. Both are essential. 9 quotes to remember Li Ka-shing. If you only look at numbers, you will miss the soul of opportunity. Einstein, the only real valuable thing is intuition. Steve Jobs, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. 10. Conclusion for Principle 4. Vision is born when knowledge and intuition work together. Knowledge anchors you in reality. Intuition guides you through uncertainty. Knowledge is the compass. Intuition is the wind in your sails. Li Ka-shing, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, all combined hard data with soft instincts. That balance allowed them to see what others couldn't and act with confidence. Lesson: don't choose between logic and intuition. Train both, trust both, and let them guide you toward opportunities hidden from the crowd. Principle 5. Turn vision into action. 1. Vision without action is a dream. Vision is powerful, it inspires, it motivates, it paints pictures of a brighter future, but vision alone changes nothing. The world is full of dreamers, people who imagine great things but never act. Their visions remain trapped in notebooks, journals, or late-night conversations. What separates visionaries from dreamers is execution. Li Ka-shing, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they didn't just imagine the future. They built it step by step, brick by brick. 2. Li Ka-shing, from plastic flowers to empires. When Li noticed the global demand for plastic flowers, he didn't stop at saying, "This could be big." He built factories, hired and trained workers, negotiated contracts and scaled production. When he foresaw Hong Kong's real estate boom, he didn't just speculate. He acquired land, developed housing projects, and delivered real buildings. His secret was simple but rare. He transformed abstract vision into tangible results. Lesson: a vision on paper is potential. A vision in action is progress. 3. Jeff Bezos, Day One Thinking. In the mid-1990s, Jeff Bezos dreamed of creating the everything store. At that time, such an idea seemed unrealistic, even crazy. But instead of waiting for the perfect moment, he started small, with books. Amazon's first website was clunky and basic, yet it worked. Step by step, he added categories, improved logistics, expanded globally. Bezos once said, "A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work." Amazon became a giant not because of vision alone, but because Bezos executed relentlessly. 4. Why people fail to act. If vision is so powerful, why do so many stop at dreaming? Fear of failure. Dreams feel safe. Action makes you vulnerable. Perfectionism. People wait for the right time or the flawless plan, which never comes. Overwhelm. Big visions feel intimidating, so procrastination takes over. Lack of discipline. Execution requires routine, not just bursts of inspiration. Visionaries overcome these barriers by embracing imperfection and persistence. 5. The power of small steps. Big visions can paralyze. The solution? Break them into small, manageable steps. Want to write a book? Start with 1 page a day. Want to build a business? Launch a small prototype. Want to change the world? Begin by changing one habit. Li Ka-shing didn't become Asia's richest man overnight. He built his empire property by property, factory by factory. Action compounds. Small, consistent steps create unstoppable momentum. 6. Elon Musk, building the future in iterations. Elon Musk dreams of colonizing Mars. To most, this sounds impossible, but instead of aiming for Mars immediately, he broke the vision into steps. Launch reusable rockets, reduce launch costs, prove viability with satellite deployments. Each milestone made the larger dream more achievable. Lesson: visionaries don't leap in one giant step, they move forward in iterations. 7. Practical framework, from vision to action. Here's a simple 4-step process. 1. Clarify the vision. Write it down. Be specific. A vague dream has no power. 2. Break it down. Divide the vision into milestones and daily tasks. Start now. Even imperfect action beats endless planning. 4. Build systems. Discipline matters more than motivation. Create habits, routines, and accountability to keep moving. 8. The discipline factor. Execution is fueled by discipline. Li Ka-shing was famous for strict routines, waking early, working tirelessly, managing details personally. James Clear put it best in Atomic Habits: you do not rise to the level of your goals. you fall to the level of your systems. Visionaries succeed because they build systems that make progress inevitable. 9. Quotes to remember. Li Ka-shing, vision without execution is just hallucination. Jeff Bezos, we are stubborn on vision, we are flexible on details. Elon Musk, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. 10. Conclusion for Principle 5. Vision is the seed. Action is the soil, water and sunlight that make it grow. Dreamers imagine. Visionaries build. The crowd waits for the perfect time. Visionaries start where they are, with what they have. Li Ka-shing, Bezos, Musk all prove the same truth. The future belongs not to those who merely see it, but to those who create it. Lesson: don't just dream, do.